And we got a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Hey now! Which of course is totally lifted from Howard Stern, but I'm a huge Howard Stern fan, and that's why I'm lifting it. Today, the video I'm going to shoot is I'm actually going to go over to St. Paul. I'm going to go see a kid that I grew up with. Not a kid, now he's an old man. He's in his 40s like me, going on 50. So, this is what I talk about networking. Old friends. People you don't even see anymore. People you wouldn't want to see. People you wouldn't want to hang around with, but yet you feel comfortable enough and know them where you can go see them, visit them, and it's not such a big traumatic ordeal. So that's what I'm doing. I'm visiting a kid from the past that I grew up. I've known him since I was 16 years old. 15 or 16 years old I've known him. I want to say 16 for sure. But that's a long time. That's 30 years ago that I knew him. And I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to go to his storage locker, and he's got a bunch of tubs. And he's actually held on to a lot of stuff. I got some real great old vintage heavy metal posters from him last week. I got 2 rare Slayer. I got the pink live shot. If you're a Slayer fan, you know which one that is. If you're an original fan from the 80s. And I got the black collage shot live undead poster. I also got a vintage Megadeth, still in the shrink. Original lineup, I believe. And what was the other one I got? I got a rare Motorhead, No Remorse era. That's right after Fast Eddie had left, and then Brian Robertson, whatever his name was, which is on Another Perfect Day. Awesome frickin' album. He left after that album, and then they had a new lineup. I think it was like Pete Gill. Gosh, what are the guys' names in there? Wurzel. And then the other guy's name, I can't remember. Phil Campbell, maybe, is what I'm thinking is his name. Lemmy, of course. And so that was the No Remorse Greatest Hits Motorhead poster. Very kind of rare Motorhead poster. But today, what are we going to focus on? Coca-Cola. These old tin trays, right? We see them everywhere. We see all kinds of reproductions of them. And sometimes we see original ones. I've got 3 of them today that I want to show you. And then we'll go over, and I'd love to hear some feedback on this from you guys, and that's why I'm shooting this. So today, here's clearly a reproduction. I would say maybe 1970s, 1980s at the late, well, dated 73, so more than likely taken from a 1923. So 1973. So an early reproduction at that. And in many ways, you want that more than the ones that are made today, which are complete crap and are so thin, they bend when you touch them. So, obviously a reproduction. Jason, that's who I'm going to see, collects Coca-Cola stuff. So I'm going to bring this to him, and I'll keep these stashed in the car, because I don't want to sell these reproductions. I don't got time for them. Though I could at the flea market. These are sought after on their own. This one I'm on the fence about. I had it on eBay years ago, probably 5 years ago, and I considered it to be real early. Look at the patina and the rust on it. I really did. It's got crazing. It's got an old green backside. And the tag on here says 1916 World War I girl. So this is a reproduction. But it doesn't say the reproduction year. But I would bet, because it says that on there, 1916 advertisement. Yep, this tray is for memorabilia purposes. This is a reproduction also. This one doesn't even have a date on it. This one has 73. This one doesn't, so this is probably an earlier one. Who knows, maybe 60s, 50s. I like it. If not, whatever. It's the better of the two. I always enjoyed it. That's, I guess, why it didn't sell on eBay. I had it on there for a long time, marked as an original. Thank heaven it didn't sell. Oh, I can't believe that I didn't take the time there to read and find that. Boy, times have changed. At the time, I thought I was on my eBay game. Now, I'm really on my eBay game. Now, here we go. This one I believe to be 100% original. And I could be totally wrong. But that's why I'm doing this video, because, you know, people have their opinions. Someone wants to teach me something I don't know. I got this in an old bar closeout. This doesn't have any of that writing along the wall. And you can almost see like a paint. See how I'm catching it right there? When I move the light on it, you can see almost like a paintbrush thick coating over it. You see that throughout. I don't know what that is original when they put some kind of light, but this is interesting, and this is why it would let it believe that it was. It says Coke tray 1914. Of course, anyone could have wrote this. Someone bought this at an antique store for $30. But this is what makes me think it's this green, this patina of green. So that's the question. I believe this one to be original. That's my gut. Haven't looked online, which of course I could do and totally figure it out. But that's my gut instinct is telling me this one's the real deal, obviously, and that tag helps too. These two, heck, just by taking the time and finding that tag and reading it. Early reproduction. Pretty cool. Says memorabilia, if we can spit that frickin' word out, on there, but it doesn't have a date. This one says the same. Memorabilia. 1923 advertisement, but printed 1973. So this one's a little bit more specific. And you can even see this one just doesn't look as cool as this one. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and call that one an early one. These two I'm going to try to trade. Leave them in the car. Let's see if we can get a shot now. And I can address some questions. Okay, if you want to look on eBay, you want to bid on any of my items I have for sale, or I can put up for you, or you can just buy them through me, through PayPal, whatever feels the best. Sanford 67. SANDFORD 67. That's my seller name on eBay. Look me up. What else can I say? Oh, I want to address the guy from Minneapolis wants to get together and do some metal detecting. I'd love to. I totally would. And, you know, as much... And I have friends. I've got like 3 friends. Maybe 2. And I want to do stuff with them too. But I'm telling you, I keep going back to this. For me, I was talking to a buddy of mine. And obviously, money is the #1 thing that drives us up. We need money. But time, man. Holy cow, is it priceless. So, do I want to get together with you and hang out and do... And go maybe metal detecting? Hell yeah, I would love to. And if it, you know, maybe someday. But I can't right now give you a date. I'm tied down. It's summertime. I got 2 kids home from school, just like the rest of us, man. It's hard if you're a family man. Not hard, it's a blessing. So, that being said, what else did you touch on? Oh, where do I go to the flea market? I set up out at the Medina. Not too rarely. I might go twice a year just to kind of dump shit. You know, I'll have a dollar table. Everything on there is $1. I watched the guy the last couple of years. I go out there every Sunday, though, and just do picking, whether I buy anything or not, because I just like to be in that mix. That one seems pretty low-key for me, and that's the only one that I really go to. A lot of people I meet out there, they're like, why don't you go to this flea market? Why don't you go to that one? You know, because I'm just a creature of habit. I get into something, I stick with it through the good and the bad. You know, out there, I hardly find shit, really, to be honest with you. It's been a few years since I found anything, scored anything. I used to be able to pull something a week, and then I would put it on eBay when I got home, and it was exciting to see, you know, where it fell. But it's hard, because you have to remember, most of these flea market guys, not all of them, but I would bet 90% already have run this shit through eBay, just like I do. And then they go out there and dump the unsellables. But, you know, with me, honestly, there's a lot of stuff sometimes that goes out there that's just too big, too awkward, too goofy, sick of fooling around with it on Craigslist. I just want it gone, man. And you have to look at that as an option. So, that's where I go, Medina, if you want to do that. That's where you would go and set up at the flea market. It's every Sunday. You can call out there to get the specific days. It's probably online as well. It's out off of Highway 55, out in Plymouth, kind of. And I usually go and I'll get there, heck, if I do it, I'll go there. I'll leave the house at like 2:30 because I want to get the primo spot. I don't want to play around, and I got a big van, and I just pass out. And then I'm totally the opposite of the other dealers. The other dealers are out there in the dark. They're storming, getting eaten by mosquitoes, trying to set up their shit, throwing it on the ground, all beautiful. You know what I do? I wait until the lights come up. It's 7 o'clock. All the pickers with the flashlights have been fucking through everything. Fuck that. F them. I'm not there to sell to a cocksucker that's going to go sell it on eBay and make a killing. I'm selling to the collector or someone that's going to make a decent buck. These other guys getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning, man, with their flashlights. Jesus. I get it. I get it. I do the same thing, actually, when my son will still sleep, and then I'll just go and walk around and scope it out, but I never find nothing. These bastards, oh, they're like vultures, as am I. It's a contradiction, isn't it? That's the demon of the business, I guess, is not wanting to go too far. You want to keep it at heart, and, you know, I grew up as a kid, and it was just all about going to the flea market, man, and hunting. Garage sales, hunting. Now it is a business, and so I try to battle that side of it. But who can I can't lie. Money rules, right? So that's what I do. So then I'll set up. Actually, getting back to that. See how I go way off topic. I'll set up at the when the lights are up, and I'll just take my time. And I'll set up, and I'll sit there maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I won't sit all day. The hell with that. I set it up like a rock concert in seconds. I'm my own road crew. I do it all by myself, and then I will tear it down by myself, and I will pound it out in a precision. Everything goes in there. I'm not sitting there trying to wrestle stuff in, and I'm blowing that stuff out. I want it gone. Matter of fact, the next time I go, oh, hell yeah. I'd love to come back with an empty van. It's impossible, but I'm going to try that $1 table and a 50-cent table and just see if I can smash it out of the park. I need this stuff gone. All right, I think I touched on everything. I'm thinking, is there any more questions? It's about the pizza. Let me think. I love metal albums. That is one thing I have a weakness for. So, though I don't, I will respond to every comment. And California Picker. Oh, hell yeah, I do dig your videos, man. That was cool, the one where you found all the standees. I like that on-the-spot stuff. That reminds me of my videos that I used to do. I wish that I was out there as more as I used to be, just hitting the alleys, because I can't tell you guys, I am not lying. Flea markets, garage sales, estate sales. Oh, hell no. You can score stuff there, but the alleys, man. The alleys hold the treasures. Humbling. when you are in a garbage can all the way on the bottom, I'm talking one of the big ones, which is literally I'm short. I'm probably like 5'6", 5'7". It's probably up to about here on me. I've been in there with my sneakers hanging out of it. Oh man, there is nothing. I've always said this the whole time. Glamorous about that. But if you're willing to go that extra yard, laying the garbage can down on the ground and crawling into it to get that last black and white photograph to go with the other 400 you just pulled out of the dumpster. I remember one time that someone threw out a whole bunch of old sewing buttons, which can have a lot of value, and I've done okay on them. You know, you sell them in large lots on eBay. Old ladies, man, they would keep all kinds of brutal ones. So anyway, I found a garbage can about this tall. And I'm trying to I'm digging out of it because they're cleaning the house, right? And you know the story. You're doing it, and then the box spills because it's in there wrong, and it all goes to the bottom. You can hear it. Oh, I remember laying that damn garbage can on the ground. I took everything out of the garbage. I was in there getting every frickin' button. And I'm glad I did, because I made some money already, and I still think I got a big bowl, and they're cool buttons. Not a lot of money, but hell, maybe, 20, 30, 40 bucks. But remember, it was free. It's the adventure. It's the hunt. Free, free, free. You score one dumpster. This is how I always used to look at it. I used to drive the alleys when I did it, when I was a beast, and I went 7 days a week, man. I did not play, and I carved those alleys over and over again. If you could hit 2 dumpsters a year, that was your jackpot. You can find all kinds of filler stuff along the way that you can sell on Craigslist, Move Out, garage sales, flea market. But what I'm talking about is the dumpster of antique, where it's the gold mine. An old person has passed. They've dumped it all in the garbage. It's all there, free for the pickings. It's on the street. The house is empty. It has a for sale sign on it, or it's being torn down. Those, man, you can have enough. You can make inventory that will last you. I still have inventory from dumpsters. Still, you can see it. It's in these tubs. A lot of it went along the ways, but man, a lot of it is stash. A lot of paper goods and stuff I kept, man. And I can't wait to sell that. The plan is as I get older, obviously, when I can't flip the dresser on my shoulder anymore, and you know, you just can't bust it. But hell, I can always take a little piece of paper out of a tub. Think for the future. Think for the future. Stash, stash, stash. My stepdad used to tell me that because he had the Sanford and Son type store growing up, and his advice to me was like, listen, even though you don't have money, he's like, you just if you're always out there picking, hitting the alleys, carving, you're gonna find something cool and old. Always just stash that stuff away, man, in a filing cabinet, in an old trunk. I used to keep old trunks. It was a good way you can stack them up high. I'd use them for furniture, and I'd fill them. And then they went from the house into the shed, but it kept everything basically dry. Water is your enemy. Frickin' water is your enemy. If it's around you, figure it out. Get plastic around it. Get it up off the ground. Remember, things up off the ground, even an inch. Just a couple old cinder blocks. Focus, man. Keep your inventory safe. You do not want to go through all those years of work to lose it to water. That is pitiful. And then you got a bunch of stuff stacked there full of mold that's worthless. And then you got to clean it up on top of it. Oh, hell no. Metal Mike, get out there picking. I'm going to score some stuff today. I'm going to trade. Let's get out there. Let's find it, right? It's out there. Get out.